All right, we are live. We're live. Let's just get into today's topic. Yes. All right, you're live. We are live. We are live. Let's get right into it. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Vanessa Samu here with you. Vanessa Samu Ajidwa. I'm here with you this morning to discuss a very interesting topic. And what would that topic be? So, we've been talking about getting unstuck in our clubhouse sessions. And then after we talked about getting unstuck, we talked about stop strategizing and start doing. Stop strategizing and start doing, which are all topics about getting unstuck. But now let's go into when you have come unstuck and you are in the doing phase, in the action phase. What does that look like, and what are some of the challenges that you're going to face, right? So, as we all know, failure is inevitable, right? Failure is inevitable. There's no way that you aren't going to start something and not have some parts of it, or even in its entirety, fail. However, we want to encourage you today that embrace failure. Failure is a part of becoming. It's a part of building. It's a part of you, you know, uh, realizing your goals and your dreams. So, but today's topic is turn failure into profit. Turn failure into profits. The first step is embracing failure. The first step is embracing failure. And what do I mean by that? Well, I just want to encourage you today. If you look at the greats of our times, it all came through some type of process of failure. It all came through a process of failure. So we all love, Albert Einstein, for example, right? We all love Albert Einstein. However, did you know that he wasn't able to speak until he was 4 years old? And his teacher said he would never amount to much. So I'm going to give you a couple of about six persons who were considered failures at some point in their lives, right? And how they became famous down later in life, right? How they turned that into profit. Not necessarily always their shortcomings being turned into profit, but using failure as a stepping stone to become profitable, to become well known and become people who we look up to. So we want to encourage you. It's time for you to start embracing failure and stop running away from it. When you realize that failure is a part of life, it's a part of becoming, it's a part of doing. Unless you just don't do anything, you're not going to fail. If you don't do anything at all, of course you're not going to fail. If you just, um, wait for chance to happen, then perhaps you're not going to fail. But if you're like anyone else, where you have aspirations, you have goals, you have dreams. As you put those things into action, there's going to be a portion of it that you're going to fail at. And that's okay. Because guess what? You can turn that into profit, you can turn that into value. So let's talk about a couple of people who were considered failures, but today we celebrate them as great people. So Albert Einstein, right? He wasn't able to speak until he was 4 years old. And his teacher said he would never amount to much. What are those voices that have been speaking in your head, telling you that you're not going to amount to anything? Whether it's your own personal voices or the voices of others. Albert Einstein, the famous inventor. Michael Jordan, after being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. Today, we know Michael Jordan as what? One of the top basketball players in the world, won many championships, probably one of the highest paid in the league, right? Made records. Walt Disney, fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. Let's talk about that a little bit. Right? Let's talk about that a little bit. Walt Disney, fired from a newspaper. Fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination. And today he's known as, when you think Disney, I mean, it's synonymous to imagination. So, what exactly are you allowing to stop you from creating, to stop you from realizing those dreams? So, let's use Walt Disney as a case study, right? Time and chance happens to us all. Time and chance happens to us all. Perhaps it's a matter of timing, right? But you just want to give up on your goals. You want to give up on your dreams. You're saying, oh, it's not working. I don't understand what's happening. Why is this business not working? Perhaps it's just a timing issue, right? Keep working at it. Work out the kinks, work out some of the issues that you're seeing. However, if we look at Walt Disney, right? He was he was fired from the newspaper that he was working for lack of imagination. It wasn't that he lacked imagination, it was just that he was in the wrong setting. How can you turn your failure into profit? Change your environment. Change the environment in which you are producing. Change the environment in which you are operating in. That's one. So let's go back to the list of people who have been able to turn failure into profit. Steve Jobs, at 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. Today, you know Steve Jobs as an inventor. All Apple products, right? The founder of Apple, considered a failure. Oprah Winfrey was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. So let's talk about that a little bit. Steve Jobs, at 30 years old, was left depressed because he was removed unceremoniously from his job, from a company, not even a job, a company he started himself. And Oprah Winfrey, fired, and today known as a great, TV production, TV host, talk show host, writer, but she was fired from her job because she wasn't fit for television. Again, as we said previously, perhaps it's the setting, perhaps it's the environment, and when you're removed from it, you can turn that failure into loss. Don't sell yourself short. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't say because someone said or because I failed this time, it's not going to be possible down the road. Now let's talk about, Oprah Winfrey and Steve Jobs being losing the jobs that they losing a company that Steve Jobs started and losing a job. And they could have just stayed in that place of woe is me, I'm undone, woe, and just cried and stayed depressed and perhaps even gone in a different direction. No, Steve Jobs started over again. So it's okay to start over. Starting over actually is how you turn failure into profit. Because now you take the lessons you've learned from your past failures and you monetize it. Right? Failure is a part of success. I meant for her, we want you to start to embrace failing. Fail fast and move forward. If Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey had stayed in that place of depression, that place of, I can't believe this is happening to me, instead of you having that mindset of, I can't believe this is happening to me. Yes, why not me? What can I learn from this? What have I learned from this? What out of this can be turned into gold? Right? We know the cliche saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Literally is what we're talking about today. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Yes, make lemonade out of it. Turn it into profit. So instead of Oprah saying, well, I was fired and I was told I'm not fit for television, she said, you know what? Let me go create my own thing. This goes to that self-worth, knowing your self-worth, embracing your failures, embracing every part of you, every kink. When you start to, analyze your past failures, there is a pattern. Perhaps there's something underlying in there that you could turn into profit, like Oprah Winfrey did, like Steve Jobs did, right? They didn't allow what people said to them stop them. The Beatles, rejected by Decca recording studios, who said, we don't like their sound. They have no future in show business. Again, when people reject your ideas, when people say no, when people say there's no space for you at this table, create your own table, right? Create your own table. Don't get stuck in that place of, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe they said this to me. Who cares what people say? Build an appetite for failure. Build an appetite for it. As you build an appetite for it, you start to realize that, look, I can turn these failures into profit. Now let's give maybe some not so famous examples, right? Let's give some not so famous examples. For example, you can take what you failed at, turn it around, become good at it, and make it into profit. Because then you could say to yourself, if I'm failing at this, I believe perhaps there's some others who are failing at this. But I'm going to conquer this, and I'm going to write an ebook. I'm going to conquer this, and I'm going to write a how-to. I'm going to conquer this, and become an expert at it, and I'm going to teach others how to overcome it, how to overcome fear. I'm going to teach others how to, get onto broadcast, how to monetize their storytelling. Your failures can be turned into profit. It's all about how you look at it. It's all about perspective. Perspective is key, right? Perspective is key. How you choose to look at a problem is going to determine the outcome. Let me say that again. How you choose to look at a problem determines the outcome. You've heard the saying, at first you don't succeed. Pick yourself back up and try again. It's in that trying again, it's in that starting over that something beautiful is created. It's in that dust yourself off and try again that Oprah Winfrey is now a top paid TV production, TV host, personality. It's in that failure that Steve Jobs created Apple. It's in that failure that Albert Einstein, who was told by teachers that he would not amount to anything, becoming one of the most famous inventors. It's in failure, being cut from a basketball team in high school, that Michael Jordan became one of the top paid, well successful basketball player. Because what are the similarities in these people? The Beatles. You guys will never make it. You have no future in showbiz. Decca recorded, rejected them. What are the patterns here? Number one, they didn't give up. Number two, they turned their failures into profit. Failure should give you a boost of determination. It should give you more, a more desire, a more passion to succeed, instead of just allowing it to consume you and staying in that place and being stuck. Right? So how do you turn failure into profit? The number one step is, first of all, the mindset. Always think, I am human and it is okay to fail. It's part of living. It's part of existence. It's part of becoming. Be intentional. You probably haven't heard this before, but be intentional about failing. Be intentional about it. Don't stay in that place and say, well, I failed this time, so I can't do it again. No, be intentional. You want to fail. You know why you want to fail? Because in failure comes inventions. Witty inventions come out of failure. People who embrace failure, who are intentional about it, are able to turn that failure into profit, because they realize that if I fail at it, I perhaps can discover something that no one else has discovered. I perhaps can discover that there's a different way of doing this particular thing. Let's use Uber as a case study. Uber, the founder of Uber took the failures of the taxi industry and turned it into profit. So it may not even be your own personal failures. It could be a failure in an industry, a failure in a particular market sector. If you study failure, you could turn it into profit. So be intentional. Just as we celebrate success, I want you to celebrate failure. Just as you celebrate success, also celebrate failure. Yes. As you celebrate success, celebrate failure. And also another way to turn failure into profit is to have this mindset that through failure, you can succeed, right? And never accept no. Never accept no. Never accept no. If one door closes, say to yourself, another will open, and perhaps even a better door. Wasn't it great that they fired Oprah? Wasn't it great that, Steve Jobs, the company he founded, he was kicked out of it? Wasn't it great? Those failures turned into profit because they didn't allow the failure to consume them. They didn't allow, what people were saying and the negative thoughts to turn into failure, to make them complete failures for life. So we've been, if you're just joining us, we've been talking for about 19 minutes, almost 20 minutes now, about turning failure into profit. Turn your failure into profit. And we've given several keys on how to do that. Turn failure into profit. I believe everything that has been shared with you today is something that you could take it, you run with it. You could take it and you could turn it into profit. Believe it or not, the greats that you see today all have failed in one way or another. Right? They've all at some point experienced some type of failure. And here you are beating yourself up. So we end today's broadcast with this. Turn failure into profit. Stop allowing failure to stop you from achieving and living the life that you desire. Coming up, we are going to be opening up our registration for our vision setting masterclass workshop. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. We are going to show you revolutionary ways of setting goals, envisioning those goals, dreaming as big as possible, setting goals associated with every dream, putting together a strategic plan, and achieving those goals. I wouldn't be here before you if I allowed failure to stop me in my tracks. If I had my set of failures, yes. Perhaps one day I'll share them with you on this channel. Perhaps one day I'll share them with you in a book, right? Those are examples how you turn failure into profit. Many people are waiting to learn. It says a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So yes, your failure is something you can turn into profit. Your failure is something that if you hone it in, there's power in it. There's profit in it. Let your failures, lead you. It would lead you into your passions. A lot of you are asking you're probably, if you are lost or trying to seek your way and you're saying, what is my purpose on this earth? What was I created for? What should I be doing at this point in time? Why don't you stop and review some of your past failures? If you want us to help you with this, you want us to show you how to monetize your failure, not only are we encouraging you to sign up for the Vision Setting Masterclass workshop coming up, the registration will open up this Friday, but also book some one-on-one coaching time with us. Let's help you through some of those processes that can help you turn failure into profit. And with that, we end the broadcast. Have a wonderful day.